All right, so it's official. Sigourney Weaver is going to be in The Mandalorian and Grogu. And she said just the other day she got to hold Grogu. Now, granted, she could be playing just about any character. We don't know yet who she's playing. But I still stand by my theory that she is going to be the new magistrate of Navarro, replacing Carl Weathers' Grief Karga. Now, it's only a question of, did she win a special election type deal? Did she just beat him outright? Are they going to explain Carl Weathers' death? Are they going to canonize that Grief Karga died, whether he was killed by pirates? Which actually would be a great motive for this movie. That whoever the bad guy is in this movie kills Grief Karga. That he or she has some sort of connection to the Bounty Hunters Guild, or simply to Grief Karga in particular. Being a bounty hunter, you're going to have enemies, obviously. So, it could be that they're going to make this part of the movie that whoever is the villain of the movie has it out for Grief Karga for something he did, whether because he brought them in, or it's a family member he brought in, or something. That there is bad blood, and they killed Grief Karga, obviously off screen, or find some way to show the assassination without showing Grief Karga. And then, is she somehow related to him? Because we know nothing about his home life. We don't know if he was married, if he, has an adopted sister or cousin. We know nothing about his family life. We don't know if he was adopted, if he has adopted relatives, if he has a wife, or if he has siblings and that sibling is married to Sigourney Weaver's character and that would make her his sister-in-law, or what. We don't know how she's related to Grief Karga, but I really believe that she's going to be the new magistrate. And it would make sense, at least in the U.S., and I know that this happens in other countries, where if an elected official dies, sometimes, doesn't happen often, but sometimes the spouse takes over. Either fills out their time, or if they were running for office, takes over the campaign, or whatever. It has happened. So there are so many questions, just if she is the new magistrate, as to how she fits into Grief Karga's story. She could have been the one to call a hit on Grief Karga because, politics can be messy. So maybe she was running against him in an election for magistrate, and she decided to make things easier for her by just offing him. There are so many ways that they could do this storyline in The Mandalorian and Grogu and make it very interesting in just her replacing of Grief Karga. you don't have to go into, whether she's part of the remnant or whether she's a fellow bounty hunter or what. Just having her become a magistrate could overlap with being a fellow bounty hunter, being a part of the remnant. There's so many storylines that can come out of her just replacing Grief Karga. Especially if they do right into the fact that Grief Karga died. And especially if they make it a assassination. Which would make the most sense since, again, based on his past, he was part of the Bounty Hunters Guild. He's a magistrate in Star Wars. He wanted to remain independent and instead of becoming part of the New Republic. So he pissed off pirates. I mean, the possibilities are endless as to who she is playing just based on how they're going to explain his death. And I love that. I love that you can use his death, Carl Weathers' death, as such a jumping off point for this movie, that whatever John and Dave had planned for this movie, or is it just Dave who's doing this movie? But anyway, there's just so many possibilities that whatever they had in mind, they can look at Carl Weathers' death and think, this could be a good jumping off point that Mando and Grogu go after, or at least try to find out, let alone go after, whomever was responsible for his death. Because they were good friends, and yeah, it was actually Grogu who turned Grief Karga good. He was going to turn on them. He was doing a double agent thing. And then Grogu saved him, and so he had a change of heart. Because that's what babies and children do. They do the innocent, adorable, sweet thing, and unless you're a really bad guy, hell, even the Grinch changed his tune because of a little kid. So yeah, I'm very excited. Like I said, I'm convinced she's going to play the new magistrate. It just depends on how she got the position. How are they going to explain that she's the magistrate, not Grief Karga? I really believe that they're going to just kill off Grief Karga. Now it's a question of whether they're going to make it an assassination, or if he dies of natural causes, which I would actually be kind of bummed about. That was my issue with the Black Panther. I mean, it's great that they're paying homage to how Chadwick Boseman actually died, but he's a warrior king, come on. Have him die being a warrior. But, or just the fact that he's a king and someone's probably trying to usurp him or something. Same thing here. I would be kind of bummed if he died of natural causes. I would rather that he was assassinated and that Sigourney Weaver's character comes in after that. Again, that could lead to so many speculation, like, was she behind the hit? Was she related to him in some way? And she just took over his tenure as a magistrate. What was there a special election that she won? How does she become magistrate? And even if she didn't give Mando the dictate that, find out who killed him, he would do it anyway because, like I said, they were good friends. So, yeah, I'm very excited to see what direction they go with this storyline. I've heard, I just watched the video from Star Wars Meg, that maybe she's a remnant or maybe she's a bounty hunter. And all of those storylines could still fit into the Grief Karga was assassinated and she's the new magistrate, because she could be part of the remnant trying to infiltrate Navarro. She could be a fellow bounty hunter who maybe respects Grief Karga, respects Mando, respects both of them, and becomes the new magistrate, if not at the beginning of the movie, by the end of the movie. There are so many ways you could go about this. Whether she's a good guy or a bad guy, I really think she's going to be the new magistrate. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to mention about that. The only thing that I don't think she could be, because I doubt that they're going to go the soap opera route and make her his mother. Which she is actually old enough to play, but I don't think they're going to go that route. And actually, I would be bummed, because then they would have to go through all this mental gymnastics, to try to explain how she's alive. That is best left for soap operas to do that crazy, a parent who we thought was long dead or loved one we thought was long dead suddenly appears. So I do hope that they don't even consider going that route. I mean, that would just be a slap in the face to Star Wars fans, to the Mandalorian and Grogu fans. It just would be a slap in the face. So, I believe that is all I have for this video. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one.